Hello, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming back to my channel. And this OC series is going to be a little bit different now because, as I said in the last video, I am going to be doing a new story and telling you guys about a new story and new characters and stuff. But the difference between this story and my last story is that the last story was taking place in a world that's pretty much our reality, but with just like fictional characters and stuff like that. This story takes place in a world that's pretty different from our own and is a lot more fantasy-like. So I thought that before I even introduced any sort of characters, I thought that it'd be a really good idea to talk about the world a little bit and just the way that that's structured, because there's a lot of background that's needed before you can understand like the complexities of the plot or the characters and stuff like that. So that's what this video is going to be. It's a little bit different, but I hope that you like it anyway. I'm really excited to share with you guys this story. I'm in love with the story, to be honest. I mentioned before in a couple of videos here and there that Jeremy and Aurora were my oldest characters. And yeah, this is them. So their story and them as characters, they've changed a lot and they've been through a lot. And I've put a lot of work into this story and it's still not perfect, but I'm really happy with it, so I hope that you guys enjoy it too. Hey, it's me from a different filming day. Normally when I film this kind of audio, I'll film it all in one session, but when I was editing the audio, some things that I was saying were like unclear or just poorly explained, so I decided to come in here and re-record some stuff. So I just wanted to say that before really getting into it, because if some audio clips sound different, that's why. It's because it's on a different day. So just wanted to clear that up for a second. So without further ado, here's this world introduction thingy. So one thing that I have mentioned a lot before is that Aurora is an angel and Jeremy is a demon. Now, the way that this world works, when you think of heaven and hell in our, like, reality, you think of it as, like, a place in the afterlife, and, like, the good people go to heaven and the bad people go to hell. This isn't true in this story. Heaven and hell aren't places for the afterlife. It's just the home for angels and demons. And when humans die, they don't go to either. The role that heaven and hell plays in this story, like I said, it's just like a home for angels and demons. And also, angels and demons in the story aren't like inherently good or evil, like they are often perceived in our world. Really, both the job of both the angels and the demons in this story is to kind of maintain the human world. So angels and demons get one job that they do throughout their lifetime, and then it's just their job to work on that until they die. It's pretty fun. Sounds great, doesn't it? Angels and demons have the potential to live forever. It wouldn't be quite right to call them immortal because they can die. So when I say that they have the potential to be immortal, that's because that's exactly right. I'll go over their main cause of death in a little bit, but they can be killed. It's hard to do that. And then they can't really die from like illness and stuff like that, and like average causes of death, I guess you could say. But yeah, they can die, it's just difficult for them to do so without their main cause of death, which, like I said, I'll get to in a minute. It is possible for them to die, and they also experience reincarnation, and so the way that that works is a little bit different from how we see it in our world too. So when an angel or a demon is reincarnated, their soul is pretty much being placed in a brand new body. So let's say an angel dies, and then soon after that angel dies, a new body will be made in heaven, and for demons it would be in hell, and then their soul would be placed into that body, and then once that body is like existing, they will get another job that they have to carry out through that lifetime. And so they kind of have multiple lifetimes that's measured through each body, but since they have their soul placed in it, they have all of their past memories and they have all of their abilities and stuff, but their bodies grow just like regular human bodies, and so like the lifespan is just that of a regular human for the body. And then their abilities that they have for like angels and demons and stuff, their abilities, they keep the same abilities, but they have to let them grow again. So once an angel or a demon is reincarnated into a new body, they won't be able to like go out full force and do everything that they used to do. They'll have to wait for their abilities to develop with their body all over again. So in each reincarnation cycle, when they get a new body, they are assigned another job, and then from that moment on, they just have to focus on that job and try and complete it, and that's just the goal for every single life cycle. The jobs always relate to the human world, and just kind of keeping peace there and make sure that humans don't destroy everything, because humans are stupid. Even in our real world, humans are stupid. But yeah, they just work to keep Earth intact, pretty much. So the jobs that angels and demons are assigned is influenced by a number of different things. One of them is like their age, and I'm not talking about like their reincarnation cycle, I'm talking about like their actual soul's life. So a soul that's like new and doesn't have too much experience would be assigned a much easier job, and then an older soul would be assigned a more difficult job. You know, kind of makes sense. It's kind of how our world works. You get more difficult and higher up jobs with more experience and stuff like that. They're also picked based off of their abilities. Angels and demons have a general shared pool of abilities, but everyone also has like a little bit more of a unique... Okay, dog. Everyone has like a little bit more of a unique thing that's like less common, and while there are angels and demons that can share that ability, it's not something that everyone universally has, if that makes it universally. What did I just say? Anyways, you get my point. So like, for example, an angel, their common abilities would be like flight, because they have their angel wings. And then an example of a not shared ability would be like nature powers. I don't think I'm gonna go over the full list of like regular abilities that an angel and demon can have, just to make it a little bit more fun for you guys to find these things out a little bit more naturally, instead of me just sitting here telling you about them. But know that that is a thing. I will probably specify if something's a common ability or an uncommon ability when those things start to come out, but there you go. And another thing is also their traits. So sometimes a job doesn't really require a certain ability, it requires just a certain skill that isn't really like a magical thing, it's just a personality thing. So for example, Aurora, the job that she has, which I'll get into a little bit later, is a little bit more of like detective-y work, I guess, and that's where her specialty lies, and so that's why she was assigned her specific job. And somebody else with a different personality trait might be assigned a different job. Like if somebody needs to be like persuasive in a job, they'll find someone who's really good at being persuasive. And the jobs that can be assigned can also like vary on what it is, like in subject matter. But every single job always relates back to the human world. So let's say an angel or a demon with like nature-based powers could be tasked with like maintaining a natural disaster and like making sure that like it's not a disaster. Or let's say there's like two countries that are planning to go to war with each other. It might be someone's job to infiltrate one or both of the countries and try and prevent that war from happening. It's really just like a big variety of things, and every single job is just the end goal, regardless of the specifics of the job, is to keep the human world safe. The way that new jobs are discovered for angels and demons to do can come from one or two ways. It's either from observation. Angels and demons are monitoring the human world, and they can like report back to be like, hey, this is what's up, we should do something about this. Probably not in that exact phrase, but I'm sure you know what I mean. And another one is through prayer. So when a follower of a certain religion prays to whichever deity they believe in, that deity is able to get that prayer and like look over it and be like, yeah, we should do something about this, if they think that it's like, if something is a significant issue or going to be a significant issue in the human world, then that will most likely become a job for an angel or a demon to take care of. If they fail to complete their job, then that is one of the ways that they die. If they don't complete the job that they're given within their lifetime, then their soul dies, and then the energy that's left over then is used to create a new soul, which has intentions to perform better, but really that's just something that time decides. Pretty much like every single time they get a new body and a new job, there's working for their next reincarnation cycle, so they're kind of stuck in a lifetime of servitude, which doesn't sound fun, and I'm sure it's not fun, but that's the way this world works, so there you go. When an angel or a demon fail a job and their soul dies, that is the most common cause of death for angels and demons, because like I said, their bodies are pretty, like, I don't want to say indestructible, but they can take a beating, for lack of better phrase. Since their jobs relate back to the human world, a lot of angels and demons end up being in the human world, but they're able to like disguise themselves as just regular humans. And the humans don't know this, and so they interact with angels and demons and stuff just on a daily basis probably, and they don't even know it. Obviously, it's like there are more humans than angels and demons combined, so not all of the world's issues can be solved. So that's why the world isn't a perfect place, but they definitely do their best in just keeping everyone, like, on the planet, pretty much. They just work on making the Earth not die. And so just like in a real world, there are, like, religious ties to heaven and hell. It's not necessarily that, like I was saying, one isn't inherently good or evil, and really, there's a bunch of different religions in this world. Like, some people believe in only heaven, and some people believe in only hell. Some people believe in both, and some people favor one over the other, and some people are completely indifferent, and some people just don't believe in it at all. And all that fun stuff. And just like in our real world, a lot of people like follow each religion, and they have like quote-unquote rules in their religion that they follow. The reason that some people in this world are religious is because they believe that the more like faith they put in like heaven and hell, and the more that they follow their religion for whichever one they believe in, the more assistance that they'll get in their life. And they just believe that like if they follow their religion, then they'll be offered like a better life by whichever being or beings that they believe in. And so I'm not going to get like completely in depth with like character backstories that intertwine with the plot. I'll just save those for those characters' specific videos. But the gist of the whole thing is so Jeremy was born a human, but for some reason he was born with a demon soul, which is incredibly odd, because whenever a demon or an angel is made, it's either made in heaven or hell respectively, but Jeremy was a human on just Earth and in the human world, but he was born with a demon soul, which never happens, and that's like an incredibly strange phenomenon, and it's never happened before. Jeremy was first discovered, and it was first discovered that he has a demon soul. Obviously, like, super weird shit, right? So when it was discovered that Jeremy had a demon soul, obviously, God was like, yo, why? At first it was, like, suspected to be Lucifer, but he was like, I have nothing to do with this, so there we go. He confirmed it has nothing to do with it. After receiving prayers from Jeremy's father, God ends up sending Aurora to see what's up, and then that's Aurora's job. Her job is to figure out what happened and like why he has a demon soul, and just if there's anything that can like undo it. Unfortunately, very soon after Aurora meets Jeremy, things don't go very well. I'm not going to get into it here because that's something that's more suited for Jeremy's video, but fun fact, he ends up like leaving his home with Aurora when they're both fairly young, which might not be a great idea and also a little confusing, but just wait, it makes sense. And yeah, and like since they are like two completely unsupervised children just in the streets, the best of decisions isn't going to come out. Because Jeremy was like a young teenager, like 14-ish, and then Aurora was like a literal child. I mean, she's a literal child now, but an even literal child. And so he's kind of like, Jeremy kind of grows up to have a little bit of a criminal record. Nothing like too big. I mean, he like never murdered or anything, but like just to like things to help him survive. Maybe like thieving and mugging to get money and all that fun stuff. So he's not the law's favorite person. He's definitely like on their radar, we could say. Couldn't really do much. They're kind of like, what's the word? They don't have many options, that's what I'm trying to say. They didn't really have many options for surviving, but like they couldn't go back to Jeremy's house because plot that I can't get into right now. But pretty much they're just two children, completely like unattended, and they can't do anything because they're children. So yeah, that's where that is. They have to figure out Jeremy's whole thing. He has to unjelly his jam, some people might say. I don't know if that's a thing. So they have to deal with all of that too, which sounds hard, and it probably is hard. But I feel like every writer loves to just ruin their characters' lives, so that's what I'm here for. So one thing that you might be thinking is, Oliver, why send a child to do that? And here's the thing, but here's why she was sent. So normally when an angel or a demon is in a body that young, they wouldn't be sent right away to do those jobs, and if they were sent off, it wouldn't be like, I don't want to say like as risky of a job, but it wouldn't be as complicated of a job if they're sent off that young. Aurora, however, kind of has a little bit of a reputation for like developing her abilities and stuff a little bit quicker. And so even though she was very young, she would have like a better chance than other people that young. And then also this field of work is kind of Aurora's specialty, and she, even though has a really young body so far in this reincarnation cycle, she's more qualified than pretty much everyone else who was considered for the job. And now that all of that is explained, look at this girl with the pink hair. Yeah, that's Remy. If you follow me on Instagram, then you'll know that I just decided to last minute make another main character for the story, because of course I did. She fits in pretty well. She kind of is just like a missing puzzle piece, I guess you could say. So it's pretty easy for me to like fit her in, but also I didn't talk about her a lot in this video. But here's a little bit of background on her. She is a human. And that's all you really need to know for now. Since she is a human, she didn't really relate too much to what I was talking about in this video, but just know that she's a human and she ends up getting dragged into this because of plot that I'll go over in her video. So there we go, now we're finished. I know I didn't talk a whole lot about the characters in this video, but that'll come next, I promise. Hopefully this wasn't confusing, because I know it's a lot. It's a lot of information and just a lot of world building, but trust me, this is all like relevant information for you to be able to understand the characters. So that being said, I hope you liked it. Give this video a thumbs up if you like the story, because I'm, like I said, really happy to be sharing the story with you. It means a lot to me, and I love these characters. Actually, right before recording this, I got my first ever piece of fan art of Aurora. So I forget who to do that, but thank you. It was really cute. And yeah, I hope you're ready to hear more about these characters. We're going to have a more traditional OC character video. Then next month, I know how to speak, and next month I'm actually starting with Jeremy, so that's going to be fun. Let me know if you're excited for that. I definitely am. And if you have any more questions about the world, or just the way things are structured, or if anything was just unclear in this video, or if you think I left anything out, be sure to comment down below, because I will try my very hardest to reply to them. I can't get to every comment nowadays, but I certainly try my best, so if you leave a comment, there's a pretty good chance that I'll see it. And if you want to see more of my art, then subscribe, because I make art videos every single week. And I would love to share my art with you, and I'd love to just bond with thousands of people over the internet over art. And also, if you're interested in my previous story in this series, I just wrapped it up last month, so I will leave that linked in the iCard for you to check out. That one's, like, not really a fantasy story, so the story's a lot easier to understand, and you don't need a whole lot of background information to understand it, so check that out if you're interested. And also follow me on any social media if you want. They'll be on screen now and linked in the description box below. I'm most active on Instagram, so if you have an Instagram account, you should probably follow me over there, because that is where I post art, just talk about random stuff, and also give updates for YouTube videos and stuff like that. And I'll also, like, sometimes ask you guys for advice on YouTube videos or what videos you want me to make, so if that's something that you're interested in, go follow me over there. And there is a video on screen now and in the iCard. I remember how this part goes. I'm good to go. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.